Hey Boom Bros, you already know who it is. This is my updated Halo M6 mod guide. For this mod you will need the blaster, of course, a sturdy size 1 screwdriver and a claw hammer and punch for removing the pin, a hot glue gun and glue stick, and a dart to cover the side hole in the barrel, a Dremel for cutting the spring, Teflon tape to improve the seal, and super glue to keep the priming pin and plunger padding in place. First, use a Dremel to cut your spring to size. For Century 882 spring, I like to cut the spring to about 4 1/4 inches. For K26, I like to cut the spring to about 2 coils longer than the stock spring. And for C836, you should cut about 2 coils off the spring. Use a hammer and punch to remove the back priming pin. 1 or 2 good taps should get it loose. Wedge a screwdriver into the screw side of the slide. Use the claw side of your hammer to pry the pin loose. This time, the return spring pin popped loose as well. If yours doesn't, use a screwdriver to pull it loose. Take care not to bend the plastic when removing these pins. Then remove the screws from the top slide, and then remove the screws from the bottom handle section. The bottom section is held together pretty firmly, so I suggest using a thin tool to help you out. Next, open up the plunger tube housing. There is a plastic peg and hole in the front of this part. Be careful not to snap the peg when separating the two halves. Remove the stock spring, remove the dart sensor, remove the catch and the lever arm for the trigger. They go together like this. Place the dart inside the barrel and fill the hole in the side with hot glue. You can quickly cool the glue by running cold water over it. Wrap Teflon tape around a plastic ring that goes inside the barrel. Then insert the ring and rubber gasket back inside the barrel. Also Teflon tape around the tip of the barrel and place the front piece back on. Remove the O-ring and wipe the grease off the plunger rod. Super glue under the plunger padding and hold it down for a few minutes so that the rubber sticks. This will make sure that your plunger padding doesn't pop off your plunger head. Teflon tape around your plunger head to improve the seal. Place the O-ring back onto the plunger head and re-grease. Place the new spring with the open end toward the plunger head. Hold down the front barrel and squeeze the spring into place. Once the spring is in place, hold down the plunger tube or the plunger rod so that the spring doesn't pop back out of place. Reinsert the catch and lever arm. Then use a thin screwdriver to hold the plunger rod down while you place the two halves of the shell back together. Place the return spring back onto the pin with a thin screwdriver. Then screw everything back together and push the priming pin back into place. Then place a small amount of super glue on the priming pin so it doesn't slide out later. Thanks for watching, Boom Bros. Make sure to support my Etsy store in the link down below.